Limerick are heading into a very, very difficult phase of the current league at the moment. Now they have 3 games left, and the only consolation, if there is consolation at this stage, is that it is against the 3 teams are immediately around them at this stage almost. Meath, Kildare, and Clare in the final
Clare.
round in Ennis, and we never seemed to fear going to Clare, Jack.
No.
So, but Meath in the Gaelic Grounds is like the prize for Meath is huge, Jack. Because they can put any fears of relegation almost to bed if they get a third win on Sunday. And of course, we're talking about Limerick, and one of the games that Limerick would have targeted to win was the game against Louth. Now they came very, very, very close, but you don't unfortunately get league points for coming close.
No.
And we are where we are. We're in a very, very difficult situation. The permutation is quite simple in my view, Jack. Lose on Sunday, and you're head, neck, and heels in a relegation battle that will be very, very hard to win.
Yeah, I think the way the league is planned now, I think you do need to get points this weekend. Obviously, you have Clare and Kildare to come as well, and they're only in a pair of points, and they've played already, so they won't drop more points against each other. So that's the thing with Limerick. They can, if they lose this weekend, they can get to 4. They'll have the head-to-head over Clare and Kildare if they were to lose their games. But the points difference is definitely a major worry after that heavy defeat to Cork, 24 points. But Meath have been hot and cold. They obviously beat Cork in the first round, but they haven't really. They obviously won. They won their second round game as well. I can't remember who it was against, but losing to Louth.
Clare, Jack, they beat Clare in the second round. Like they started off like an express train, but they won in Cork, and it was. Yeah, if you reflect back on their win against Cork, like it was a day in which the Cork defence opened like the Red Sea and left them in for goals, and that was the difference in the end. Because in terms of scoring, I think Cork had more scores than them, but it's goals wins matches. It's an old cliche, and it's true. They struggled to beat Meath in Navan in the second round, but they travelled to Derry in round 3 and really got really overturned, seriously overturned. And then of course they had the home defeat to Louth the last time out, which that sends alarm bells ringing, I think, in the Royal County.
Yeah, so, and they're following a similar trajectory to Limerick, the Cork game aside, that beaten heavily by Derry and losing as well to Louth, 2 or 3 points. So they're going in a similar path. It wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility for Limerick to get an upset win here, but definitely is that, like, at the end of the day, Meath are on 4 points, and Limerick are on 0. So
that's the point I'm making, Jack. That the prize for Meath is, to go to 6, safety practically, almost definitely safety. So looking at it, 3 games, 3 winnable games. Win your 3 games, you'll have Division 2 football next year. That's simplistic way of putting it. Can Limerick recapture the resilience that they have shown in previous years when their backs were to the wall? And I'll repeat it again: Markovich Park in Sligo in 2019, was it, Jack, or 2020? Ockram in 2021, when they dug out results against the odds. Portlaoise last year. When with their backs to the wall, they have responded. But this calls for a huge response. And it's not just a once-off response. It's a 3-off almost. You have to deliver it in 3 games.
A response as well.
It's going to be very, very, very difficult.
A response as well from the public, Matt, to get out and support, this team that has brought us on a brilliant journey over the last 3 or 4 years. That they need support from the stands, because when things aren't going well, that's when you need the crowd to get behind you, and they are at home. It's only their second game at home. Dublin was a bit of a novelty. To be fair, that was a hit and hope really against a team that have won 8 All Irelands in the last 12 years. But this is a real chance. It'd be brilliant to see a big crowd at the two Gaelic Grounds. We see the buzz that they give the hurlers, so hopefully that can happen for the footballers. It's definitely a winnable game. It's going to be a difficult game. Meath are the favourites, and for a reason, but it's a winnable game. I think, to be fair, it's only the second time this year in the league that you go into a game with real confidence that you could come away. Obviously, Derry and Dublin were a bridge too far, and as we said, Cork are an improved team this year. So, please God, the Limerick footballers.
Yeah, and I would appeal to the public to turn out in force. The hurlers are not playing, so there's no counter attraction. The ladies footballers are playing in so far away in the most northerly outpost in Derry. I would appeal to the public to come out and support the team. Now, Ray Dempsey has changed the team around a bit, but I just sometimes wonder, are some of the changes working? But new manager coming in, trying to put his own stamp on the squad. He sees them in training every week. He knows what they're about. But certainly we need to see something, Jack, that we haven't seen already this year. Now, all right, you can reflect back and then the McGrath Cup and easy win over Waterford and the win against Tipperary and all that sort of thing. But I thought, Jack, looking at the McGrath Cup, and all right, it can be easily dismissed as being just pre-season, but I got the feeling in the McGrath Cup final that I saw signs of Cork very much on an upward trajectory. I saw Limerick, particularly with first games against Derry and Dublin, which you would be expecting very, very little from, that they would be immediately into a struggle. And unfortunately, that's the way it has turned out to be.
Yeah, it has been a struggle, and there has been experimentation, and some of it has worked, and some of it hasn't worked. But you have to try these things, against these quality sides, and it might just click this weekend, and that will be the hope. And as you said, we need to get a good support in the Gaelic Grounds to support these lads that have struggled the last few years.
If there's any nugget of consolation, Jack, and this is your history lesson, Jack, for today. I think Limerick and Meath have only met once in the league previously, and that was in 2004 when they played out a draw in the Gaelic Grounds. But they met subsequently in the Gaelic Grounds in the first round of the All-Ireland qualifiers in 2008.
What was that?
And the scoreline was Limerick 4-12, Meath 4-3, on a night in which Ian Ryan outscored Meath because he got 3 goals and 7 points. Now, they avenged it the following year in Portlaoise in round 4 of the qualifiers when they beat Limerick 113-2-9. But our record in the Gaelic Grounds, even though it has gone into the bowels of history at this stage, is decent. You count for nothing on Sunday, Jack. What will only count on Sunday is what happens between the white lines after the ball is thrown in. It's a very, very difficult task for Limerick. I'm hopeful, but not confident.
Yeah, just on that game in 08, I was actually there. I was with my mother. I'd say it was the only game we ever went to together, and I was actually in Portlaoise the following year as well. It was my brother took me up that day. So it was mixed. I remember Ian Ryan vividly scoring 3-7. I'd say he could have been still in school in Askeaton at the time. He was definitely 19. But they were good days, and hopefully someone can channel their inner Ian Ryan this Sunday in Gaelic Grounds and bag a few goals, because goals is what Limerick will probably need to get a result in the Gaelic Grounds. But this Sunday, 2 o'clock, Gaelic Grounds. Hopefully Limerick can kickstart their survival effort